Virgo, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early October 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Virgo collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going. God, Spirit Team, talk to me. What we got for the Virgos here in Libra season, early October? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card, then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Virgo in early October, please. What's happening? What's the vibe? What's the energy? Okay, time sensitive? We're waiting on something? Usually when I see this card, although it's very simplistic, it has that striking imagery of the hourglass, so it could represent time in and of itself. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the October subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk about this card a little bit. So once again, we see this lady with the hood on and she's holding the hourglass. The sand is slipping through the glass and through her fingers. So watch out that you're not wasting time on certain things when this card is here. Now, I don't feel like it has to be a very specific message like that. I personally believe, and this card does show up from time to time, that we all experience time in different ways at different times, right? You know how there's some days that completely fly by. Time flies when you're having fun, sometimes really drag. For a lot of Virgos out there, time could be a contributing factor in whatever it is you're going through, whether you feel like, oh, I don't have enough time, I'm up against the wall, or maybe you've been waiting on something, maybe someone's waiting on you. It all really depends on the situation you're dealing with. But I feel time can be very subjective, right? Even though we have a way to measure it, the experience of it from day to day changes. So just know time could be important. But the fact that the sand is slipping through her fingers, it's very important not to waste time. Okay, very important with whatever it is, whether you're dealing with career, personal relationships, don't waste your time on things that you're not going to get the result you want. So we're just going to leave it at that for now. Let's get into tarot. And I always say the first card here doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for the lovely Virgos. What is happening? And yeah, while we get this shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It was titled, They Are Planning. There was so much strategy showing up in your spread last week. So for a lot of you, whatever it is you might be dealing with or going through, a slow, steady, planned out approach is best. And I do know it's generally the Virgo vibe, right? Virgos could be very methodical about things. And I felt like that was necessary. Either the need for planning or someone was already in the stages of it. Okay. So if not you, it could have been somebody else. So let's see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else. Let's get it going. 3 cards for my beautiful Virgos. What is going on here in early October? 8 of Cups, huh? It's a lot of action. Okay, leaving something. Okay, leaving something in the dust, possibly. I mean, it could be going towards something as well. Let's see what surrounds it. Because to me, that's one of my neutral cards. Hanged Man. Okay, maybe not. Energy feels a little choppy here, and that could be frustrating. Let's get one more. I mean, that is one of the cards I linked to you as well. So we're going to have to see how this all plays. Knight of Pentacles, very, very slow. Very slow, earthy energy, which is not always a bad thing. That could be good, depending. So let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, elementally, I like what's going on. I have 2 cards here. It's like earth, water, and like earthy and watery mix here in the center. We got earth there, we got water. So it's all earth and water. And I always like to see how they all play off of each other. When I see earth and water together, it does represent potential. It could sometimes represent abundance, right? Because, you know, in order for plants to grow, it needs earth and water and sun. But we're not being too technical about that right now. But elementally, I like what I'm seeing. However, we have this card of action or wanting to move forward with something, then not, and then slow. So it's like we're going, we're stopped, we're going again slowly. So it's like a little choppy in the way the energies are presenting themselves, because this one is moving fast, this one's not moving at all, this one's moving slow. So we're just going to have to really piece this all together little by little. So let's go to position number one and start working our way through. So in position number one, we have the Eight of Cups. And we see this individual, it's nighttime, there's a moon shining, and they're walking away from these cups. So again, I see this as one of my neutral cards. It can be seen as walking away or moving past something, moving on from something. So sometimes this could represent endings, but I always say, like, yeah, no, it's not always walking away from something, because where is this going? It's going towards the Nine of Cups. So for a lot of you, either you're putting your energy in one direction, it really could depend on what it is that's happening, but we see action in position one nonetheless. Now, for a portion of you, this can represent good things, because it could be growth. It could be moving on to bigger and better things. That's the one thing I love about this card. But at the same time, all cards have positive and challenge. A challenge of this, the great unknown, what's to come, what's right around that corner, because all that nighttime and moon action going on here, there is a little air of mystery where it's like, all right, slow and steady. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's right around the corner when this card is here. It could sometimes also represent feelings of abandonment. So take that for what it's worth. Now, moving into the center, we have the Hanged Man. Not doing any of this stuff that we have on the front end. The Hanged Man, I do link this card to Virgo. I also link it to Scorpio, so for whatever that's worth. But we see this individual, they're upside down. This is a retracted, pulled back type of energy, similar to the Hermit. It's not moving. Okay, it's analyzing, it's watching. Okay, so it's looking at something, it's being strategic. So just like that plan-based energy we saw last week, this card could still fit that bill. Now, this could also be keeping very close tabs on something similar to the Page of Swords. So there might be a situation that has a lot of your focus, a person that has a lot of your focus. Maybe someone has you under the microscope when the Hanged Man is here. But again, it's a time for analysis. It's not making moves. Okay, so this one's like, yeah, I'm moving. No, I'm not. So there could be certain things where it's stop, go, 2 steps forward, then stop. Like very choppy in the way the energy is presenting itself when I see this. In its challenge, the Hanged Man could represent obstacles, challenges, problems, situations that are just, they're like a roadblock. That's how it feels to me. So we'll see when we get to the clarifier. Moving to the back end, we have a card that could represent you. We have the Knight of Pentacles. I link this to all earth signs. So Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. Now, if you're not linked to any others, in my simplistic style, it might just tell us something that's coming towards you or what you might be feeling. But in the grand scheme, how the energy is flowing, like I mentioned, we're moving, we're stopped, now we're moving out of crawl. So for a lot of, yeah, this could be progress, but it's very slow. Out of all the knights, this is the slowest one. It is a slow mover. Knights are messengers, and knights do represent that action, but this one is out of crawl. It's very detail-oriented. So for some of you, again, maybe that methodical, slow, calm approach is necessary when this card is in the mix. Now, similar to the Hanged Man, when we have earth energy in its challenge, it could represent situations, problems that are that feel a little mucky, right? Like it feels like a barrier for some reason. So we're going to have to see how this all plays out, because remember, a reading when we clarify, it could take a whole left. We don't know what's coming up underneath. So I want to dive deeper on all of it, Virgo. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What is happening? What's going on here? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Eight of Cups. What's happening? And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Virgo, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay. Eight of Cups, what's going on? What is going on? Thank you. Queen of Swords, lots of determination here. Like, my mind is made up. This is what I'm doing. Okay, which makes me even more intrigued to see what all this is in the front, because the Queen of Swords is very stern, very serious, set type of energy. Now, for a portion of you, hopefully you're not having issues with an air sign when this is here. She is very analytical, very smart. She has a lot of similarities to this Hanged Man. She's also possibly peeping something out, watching something. So again, for a lot of you, there's a lot of watching happening in your spread this week for some reason, and we'll get to the bottom of it some more when we get to that Hanged Man. But when I see her, she's looking forward. This guy's looking forward. To me, it's a very decisive type of energy. Like, okay, well, this is what I'm doing. This is the way I'm going. That's it. That's final. That's just the energy I'm picking up here. So for some of you, it could be a final choice, final decision, or you're just deciding a certain direction is the way to go. Like, no, this is the way to go. So this is what I'm doing. That's how this shows up. But do I think it's going to stay like that? Possibly not, with all this stuff coming up in the front end. Now, you know how life goes. Sometimes the universe throws curveballs and things towards us. But at least in the beginning here, it's a very much decided type of energy. It is very serious. So for some of you, if it's action oriented, like if you decide on a move of some sort, if you decide you're going to do something, I see a lot of intention here to get it done. It's like serious action. Like, I'm doing this. This is what it's going to be. So let's keep moving forward. Okay, because I feel like that's only the beginning. So why is the Hanged Man here? Why is the Hanged Man in the mix? I mean, eyes to the future at the very least. But let's see what's up. Where's the Hanged Man here? Okay. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, Five of Swords in reverse. Outside influences here. Okay. So with whatever it is that you may be experiencing or going through, and listen, I know every Virgo out there could be going through a scale of different things. Some of you, maybe everything's cool. Maybe everything's fine. Maybe you're just having issues in one small area of your life. Maybe some of you are going through a lot. It all really depends with your other placements too. But when I see the Hanged Man with the Five of Swords in reverse, to me, it feels like outside influences, outside problems or issues. Okay. I'm also getting the vibe of someone that's just waiting on something to simmer down. Okay, where it's like, okay, I'm gonna hold, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait till the time of least resistance. So there is somebody sitting here waiting and timing something. That's just how it feels, which makes sense with what I saw last week with the planning. Like, the timing has to be right. Now it's all starting to come full circle with the time that we had in the beginning. So just know, with whatever situations you're dealing with, the timing has to be right for whatever reason. Like, it has to be. Okay, because if it's not, if it's rushed, if it's too slow, it could really throw things off track. So time is playing a big part. Now, the Five of Swords is usually a card of conflict. You see that person in the upright, it's like we're beefing it out, we're having problems, it's clashing. Sometimes it can represent selfish people, so watch out for individuals that you might be connected to that are only self-focused. But when I see it in reverse, it's like, under this Hanged Man, it's like, I'm waiting till the coast is clear. I'm waiting till things calm down. I'm waiting for the right time. Okay, so again, we had planning last week. Now we have people watching a situation. Or just know, like, there could be someone keeping very close tabs on either a situation or maybe even you. It all really depends, but someone's trying to time something perfectly. Let's keep moving over to the Knight of Pentacles, though. Let's see what that is. Because to me, yeah, it's just somebody waiting. Really odd. Really odd. So let's see what that Knight of Pentacles has to say. Then we'll do a quick little recap before we get into the shadow. So where's the Knight of Pentacles here? Okay. Very skeptical type of energy I'm picking up here. To me, it feels like somebody tiptoeing around something or towards something. So yeah, the energy does start to loosen up. The energy does start to move forward. There could be somebody you're connected to that could be highly stressed out in this time, whether it's in regards to you because it is a card you're connected to. Maybe you're wound a little tight. It all really depends. But whatever the situations you might be going through could be really going through your mind a lot and taking a bit of a toll, because I feel a very stressed out, anxious type of energy here on the back end. Notice, yeah, we had earth and water up here in the top, all swords on the bottom, all swords in the undercurrent. That's mental energy, especially with the Eight of Swords here on the back end. Now, what I will say about this, there is a positive to this. If you are going through problems or situations that are a little trying right now, this Eight of Swords under one of your cards could be very good, because yeah, it's a little stress inducing. Yes, it could feel trapped. Yes, it could feel cornered, but at the same time, it comes and goes quickly. So like a situation, as quick as it came in, that's how quick it can move forward. So we could possibly be seeing the energy starting to loosen up and move when this energy is in the mix. Now that could be good. But again, I'm getting the vibe of somebody being overly cautious, or they will be. It's like tiptoeing towards something or tiptoeing around it. I don't know why I'm using that phrase. Don't think I've ever used that term in any of my readings, so take that for what it's worth. It's just like tiptoeing around something. But again, there's that anxious build, so whether it's you or somebody else. Let's go through and do a quick recap, and we'll get into the shadow card. If you kindly look in the box, position number 1, we have the Eight of Cups with the Queen of Swords. Very stern, very serious, decided, where it's like, this is what's happening, this is the direction I'm going, and this is how it's going to happen. Like, my mind is made up. So for a lot of you, if there's anything you've been weighing on your mind, I feel like you could have a much more decisive energy about it moving into the future. In the center, we have the Hanged Man with the Five of Swords, and that, to me, it felt like somebody just waiting on the right time, or timing being very important with whatever it is you're going through. Could also be people watching a situation or just keeping their eyes on it, because I do feel it's like I'm waiting for something to simmer down, or I'm waiting for the coast to be clear. Moving to the back end, we have the Knight of Pentacles with the Eight of Swords in the upright. So a very stressed, induced, nervous type of energy. So if you're going through things like that, if you're on edge about anything, physical activity, creative activity, letting those energies and emotions out and don't let them build up, that would be a good remedy for all this energy here on the back. But again, it could also be someone connected to you that's feeling this pressure, this mental nervousness. So lots of air in the undercurrent, lots of mental energy. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows for you. So let's get a good shuffle here. What's in the shadows for my Virgo friends, please? And yes, so I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. And yeah, if you've made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel. I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this going here. What is in the shadows for Virgo? Thank you. Star. All right, this is good. Now, when I see the star, I don't think of the immediate future. The star to me is long-term type of energy. Okay, it's one of the few cards in the tarot deck that talk about something that's on the horizon. It's not here right now, it's coming though. Now, the star does also link to Aquarius, so if you're connected to an Aquarius, their energy is showing up here in the undercurrent. But to me, this is a card of hopefulness, a light at the end of the tunnel, reaching one's goals. This is a card of wish fulfillment and payoffs. So the fact that it is showing up in the undercurrent of a spread like this does tell me, like, okay, there could be a good result coming from this at some point. Now, for a portion of you, in this time, when we see the star, especially the shadow side of the star, it could represent struggling with the feelings of the inverse. So remember I said this is hopeful and long-term. Star in reverse represents somebody that's feeling a little pessimistic or down about something, where it's like they can't see the silver lining. Strongest word I could use is hopelessness. So it's very important to try to not be in that energy for long if possible. But to me, I like this because it's a positive result in the end. So Virgo, that's what I have for you this week, my beautiful friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the October subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can check out my digital calendar for the month of October at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. But for the October subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 2 copies of one of my favorite decks, the Tarot of the Owls. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. Second, let me know down in the comments, hypothetically, if you had to get a tattoo of a tarot card, which one would you choose and why? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you again soon.